So, Lisa here from Lisa Gollum Art, and this week I'm sharing a time-lapse tutorial with a voiceover. And if you remember last week, I shared an intuitive painting where I didn't think, I just spewed onto the canvas whatever came to me. So this week I took that painting. I had it on my wall all week and was looking at it, so it inspired a painting of a weeping tree of sorts. So in my mind I kind of have a bit of a direction where I'm going, but that's about it. So I just want to make that tree trunk and then maybe a tree weeping, and I'm feeling it to kind of be a bit of a message piece, a bit of a meaningful piece for me. I feel like in a lot of ways right now the whole world is grieving, and willow trees just have that weepy feeling that just to me really exemplifies that longing and grieving and longing for things to get better. And the whimsical nature of the background of this piece sort of speaks to me as something beyond that willow tree that is bright and beautiful and like poppy flowers or something like that. It's very abstract, but it's kind of speaking to me. So as I start here, I am just thinking about things like design. I'm aware that it's a little busy and it's a little too all high chroma or all vibrant colors, so I need to adding some white to fade those colors a little bit, make them a little more subtle, gray them down slightly, and I'm creating drips as well as I go to kind of signify that weeping willow feel. So you'll see me spraying a lot with my water spray bottle with this painting, and that is a technique I love, and I really kind of overused it in this demonstration, but it's so much fun. And the thing is with it, you never really know what the end piece is going to turn out like, because it's not 100% something that you can control, but that's part of the fun for me. It's lots of fun when you can't control. So much of life we try so hard to control everything, and I try not to let that attitude bleed into my art creating. I learn the skills, but then I let go and try not to control things too much. So as you can see, I've just sort of added some branches and style to the tree. And now I'm spraying those so that we get some drippage of that beautiful turquoise downwards. Weeping style. And I just love how this looks in the beginning when it begins to weep. As you see now, I did skip a tiny bit of footage. You don't really see that as much anymore. I always like the drips as they're happening more than I like them after the fact. Well, not always, sometimes. So you will see me try to reclaim those drips in a number of ways. And you can judge at the end how successful you think I was at doing that. So again, I'm adding a little white. I'm graying out some of the edges because I want the focal point to be near the tree trunk and behind and beyond the tree trunk. I don't want your eye to be drawn too much to the edges of the canvas. So I'm using some zinc white at the edges, sort of just to white those out a bit. Now I'm adding some green. It's one of those greens that I really like. In the end, I decided I didn't love all the green, but in the moment, I was in love with it, so I went with it. Intuition all the way, man. Intuition. Yeah, because normally I love teal, normally don't like green so much. Now this is a massager with little knobs that spins. I like using it when I just want to free something up a little bit and create some interesting visual texture. Now I want it to dry. Oh, then I decided I was going to spray those as well. You can see I'm addicted to spray. So sometimes I would say I'm very much a process artist. I just do whatever occurs to me that I feel like will bring me joy. It makes me excited. So not every painting turns into gold when you do that. Sometimes it's the process that's gold and it's the learning that's gold. So I'll let you be the judge of this, but at the very end I decide that I really don't love how this painting turned out in the end completely. But that's okay, because every painting is a journey, and I actually have a plan for developing this into something, which I'll probably post sometime in the next week. How this developed into something that makes me totally happy and satisfied. I always want to be satisfied with my art. Not every piece of artwork will appeal to everyone, and not every piece of artwork will even appeal to the artist. So there I am painting upside down, because guess what? Even though I painted all those branches, I fussed with greens and different things to subtle those branches up so they weren't quite as distinct, and then I lost them completely, so now I'm putting them back with a bit of a darker color this time. That's Payne's Gray, which by the way is like my favorite dark color. Way more favorite than brown or black. It's just a really deep grayish blue. This footage was sped up about double speed. So just wanting you to know, YouTube lets you watch videos at different speeds, which is wonderful, because if you slow this down to 0.5 speed, you're pretty much watching me do it in real time if that's what you'd rather do. But if you want to watch it even faster to get through the video a little quicker because you're not painting along or whatever, you can also speed it up, which is great. Gotta love YouTube. And there I am, spraying again. I literally don't plan these things, and I don't think about how the video is going to end up when I'm painting. I just paint. I lose myself in it. That's why I like doing voiceovers sometimes, because when I talk as I'm painting, I never quite get the flow quite as well. So here you see me adding some fluorescent yellow with my fingers. I just kind of put it on the end of my index finger and just drag my finger along the canvas and kind of let the texture of the paint roll off the end of my finger. And I really liked how the fluorescent yellow was brightening things up. It's a glorious color. Now I'm breaking out some spray paint. Now this is water-based spray paint, so I don't have to wear a mask when I use it. It's not toxic, and it's designed for indoor use. Actually got it from the Milan Art Institute in the States. Got it shipped and paid an ungodly amount of duty or COD charges, but I do love my spray paints. Nothing worse than spraying paint and gagging and choking because the fumes are horrible. So now I'm putting some cherries on the top of that tree. So one of the things I want to confess is I almost never have red in my paintings. Can I tell you why? I know I can't. I don't know why, but every time I've got like a deep red in a painting, I usually don't love it as much. I'm much more of a magenta pink purple, as you can see from the hair, sort of person. So we'll see. I started out this painting with wanting the teal and the orangey red as because they're complementary colors. But yeah, not my favorite color scheme and not my typical color scheme, and that might be why I struggled with this painting a little more than I usually do. So now again, I'm trying to subtle areas, and then I'm finding, okay, now there's not as much of the branches there that I want. They keep disappearing on me. The back and forth happened a lot. Like I say, this painting wasn't birthed easily. Like some are and some aren't. This one there was a lot of back and forth. That's okay. It's part of the process. Actually, one of my favorite parts of the process is that I can't predict it or control it, and that I do have to, kind of evaluate in every moment where I'm at and change course when needed. It's part of the fun. Now I decided I needed more drastic darks, probably because I added too much calming white, and then it kind of lost some of its drama in my mind, so I wanted to create more drama. So that it dawned on me that there wasn't a lot of really lights, and all of a sudden I looked over and I saw my white acrylic ink sitting beside me on the table, and I was like, aha, that's what I want. And because it's just ink rather than paint, it drips and drips, and I fell in love with the way it looked when I first put it on there. Didn't like it down there, so I wiped it off. Now I'm just using my liner brush to kind of help the ends of the drip to not be just a droplet. I want it to be a nice line. Then I decide, guess what? I'm going to spray it with water again. And again, love just watching the water drift downwards. But I'm going to show a pic at the very end of the video to let you see how it dried. And it did not dry looking this good. In this moment, I loved it. And I was really excited. Came upstairs, had something to eat, went back down to my studio, and I looked at it when it was dry and was kind of disappointed. So that's why I'm going to develop it further. It's just going to happen. So here is the final product. Ta-da! Meh. I just don't think it's quite there. Few things that are bothering me, but I'm not going to bore you by telling you what they are. I will put that in my next video when we problem solve. So that's a great video for me to do for you. Problem solving for artists when you don't like your piece. Anyway, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.